is... looks like she's in pain after that pass. She had been dealing most recently with a groin injury.
Celebration quickly turned to panic at Boston's TD Garden after the Fever secured their third straight win over the Sun. As fans cheered, Caitlin Clark limped off, clutching her groin, the same injury that had sidelined her before. Cameras showed her in tears on the bench. What made it worse, refs again ignored the rough play that's targeted Clark and the Fever all season. Head coach Stephanie White is speaking out.
No update. Just felt a little something in her groin, so we'll get it evaluated and see what happens from there.
Yeah, just kind of to follow up on that, looked like she was kind of grabbing at her right groin area. Is that the concern?
Yeah, if that's the one she was grabbing at. I don't know which one it was, but yeah, I mean, that's it.
TD Garden felt more like Indianapolis than Connecticut as Fever fans took over, chanting, "Let's go Fever," throughout the arena. Though it was the Suns' home court, the crowd clearly favored Indiana. The Fever dominated 85-77 for their third straight win, led by Kelsey Mitchell's 20 points and Natasha Howard's 18-point, 13-rebound, double-double. At 12-10, they looked playoff ready until everything unraveled in the final minute.
Right here, she explodes, makes the backdoor pass, and immediately grabs the inside of that right leg. Yeah.
In seconds, everything changed. A routine play ended with Clark clutching her right groin in pain, then slamming her head against the basket stanchion in frustration, breaking hearts everywhere.
She walks down to the end of the court. You can tell that she's in pain. You can tell that there's something wrong. She goes to the, what's it called, like stanchion or whatever, the thing that holds up the basketball hoop on the other end. She hits her head on it. She is fighting back tears and she walks straight over to the bench. Now, when she goes over to the bench, she starts crying. And I've honestly never seen Caitlin Clark cry on the court except when she lost the national championship game. She keeps it together no matter what is happening. But you could just tell that something happened on that play. And it was either the pain of it, it was either like, here we go again, it was frustration.
Cameras caught a haunting image, tears streaming down Clark's face on the bench. Her pain was unmistakable. This wasn't fatigue, it was the same groin issue that sidelined her before. She'd already missed 5 games with a left groin injury. Now, it's the right one, sparking real concern about overcompensation and her long-term health.
Test, but right now on the bench after looking like she is in some pain.
The arena fell silent in an instant. Cheers turned to concern as fans and teammates realized something was wrong with Caitlin Clark. The joy disappeared from players' faces as medical staff rushed in. Coach Stephanie White said Clark felt something in her groin and would be evaluated. With the WNBA All-Star Game days away in Indianapolis, where Clark was set to captain, her status and Indiana's title hopes are now in question.
We probably won't get many details about the injury, but it was honestly just so heartbreaking to see because in that moment, she just looked so defeated. And Caitlin Clark is somebody, she hides it really well, and I don't know if hiding it or she handles it is probably the right thing to say. She handles the pressure. She handles all of the media spotlight, the attention, the expectations of how she performs on the court, the expectations of the ratings for her games. She handles all of that so well, and this season has just been so tough for her when it comes to injuries.
This injury highlights how the league has failed to protect Clark all season. She'd already missed 10 games with leg injuries, and now faces another setback. It all traces back to June 17th against the same Connecticut Sun, when the physical play against her first crossed the line and marked a shift in how opponents targeted her.
Third quarter we go. They're trailing by 10. Keep an eye on her and JC Sheldon. Clark trying to back her down. Sheldon, that was Clark, hitting her in the face. Clark is upset about that. Then everybody's upset about that. Marina Mabry comes in. She decks Clark, tempers flaring on both sides.
JC Sheldon poked Clark in the eye, and Marina Mabry followed with a hard body check, both clearly beyond normal play. these weren't basketball moves. They were targeted, dangerous actions.
Then Mabry came in with a bump.
And Mabry's day is almost assuredly going to be done.
What cameras missed was the aftermath that fueled this revenge game. The incident created lasting tension, with players remembering every detail. Sophie Cunningham stood up for Clark, confronting Sheldon and Mabry right after their hits. Her actions showed the Fever's unity and determination to protect their star.
Sophie commits a hard foul on JC Sheldon. Again, as JC Sheldon is going up for a layup, Sophie bear hugs her and takes her to the ground. What I will say is Sophie did not grab her and throw her to the ground. She didn't body slam her. She didn't do anything, in my personal opinion. Maybe I'm biased here, but I'm going to give you guys my straight up honest opinion on this. She bear hugged her, took her to the ground. Yes, it was intentional. It was absolutely intentional.
The league's weak response to those dirty plays sent a message. Targeting Clark was allowed. Fans and players felt she wasn't being protected. By the Boston game, the tension was obvious. Players exchanged stares in warm-ups, and the energy felt heavier. Clark played with a sharp edge, attacking harder and passing with purpose. Every possession felt personal.
Sheldon is going to keep the pressure on Clark. You see Tina Charles with the responsibility of guarding Aaliyah Boston. High hedge on the ball screen on Clark. Inside perfectly. One thing you know about Tina Charles, she has every shot in her arsenal.
Now Sheldon, the height disadvantage against Howard.
Yeah, good recognition.
Every possession had extra intensity. Screens hit harder, stares lasted longer, and players bumped after whistles. Refs had to step in more than once. This felt like payback, and Clark delivered until the injury. Then, questionable calls made it all feel even more personal.
Also something where she's never battled injuries in college. She's always been something who has been a very healthy player. And this year it has been quad injury, and then another quad injury, and then a groin injury, and now what seems to be another groin injury. Now, again, you guys, this is all from what we're seeing. We're just putting two and two together. Nothing has been confirmed, but it seems like she did re-injure her leg on that play. Now,
here's where it got ugly. The refs didn't just miss calls, they made things worse. Their poor officiating overshadowed the Fever's third straight win, shifting focus from the game to their loss of control.
There are multiple moments in this game that were so egregiously called, or there was no calls by the referees, and it's getting out of control at this point. And even Caitlin Clark's brother tweeted, "This one is on the refereeing." Like, there are people in Caitlin Clark's family who are starting to call out the referees because of how bad they have been.
The officiating was so poor that even Clark couldn't stay silent. Frustration built as obvious fouls went uncalled. She argued with referee Mike Price, who said something that clearly rattled her. In the third quarter, cameras caught her jawing at him on her way to the bench.
I'm not a good lip reader. I'm trying.
I got it. And that was Breon January, who is played 9 years in Indiana and now on the staff. And that's a live shot now of Caitlin Clark. He's still upset and wants an explanation from Michael Price.
And maybe at the timing of when that challenge happened.
Aaliyah Boston was slapped in the face, and Sophie Cunningham took an elbow to the back, both with no real calls. Tina Charles clearly struck Boston, yet refs didn't review it and only called a common foul, leaving fans stunned.
And this was probably the worst one of them all. This is Aaliyah Boston and Tina Charles, and they are battling in the post. And then you can see Tina Charles just kind of swims around and then throws Aaliyah Boston to the ground, like punches down on her. And she's on the ground, and that was not called a flagrant one. That was called literally a common foul, you guys. Hands up at this point. Like, I don't even know what the players can do because the players aren't being protected.
Cunningham took an elbow to the head with no foul called, leaving commentators and fans in disbelief.
I want to show you another play with Sophie Cunningham. So this one, she actually quote tweeted herself. As you can see, she's running up and then Hartley kind of elbows her in the neck and Sophie falls to the ground. Now she reposted this and she said, "They said I flopped, LOL." So I guess the referees told her that she flopped on that play, or the players, who knows. Somebody told her that she flopped on that play.
Frustration showed on every Fever player's face as missed calls piled up. It wasn't just Clark. Everyone was getting hit with no response from officials. Players exchanged looks of disbelief. This wasn't a one-off. Refs have let opponents play overly physical with Clark all season. Commentators even showed a highlight reel of uncalled fouls, underscoring the growing controversy.
There's been so many things, so many players calling out the referees, so many players calling out the physicality, so many players getting injured this season, from superstars to players on the bench, from season-ending injuries to rib injuries to concussions. There have been just so many things, and it doesn't get better. It doesn't get better. This is a nationally televised game on ESPN, and it just doesn't get better.
Other stars get protection, Clark doesn't. She takes hits that would be fouls for anyone else, and even casual fans see the bias. The officiating was so bad, analysts called it one of the worst performances ever. Clark's heated exchange with the ref showed her frustration boiling over. Her brother Colin tweeted, "Make no mistake, this is on the referees." But it was Coach Stephanie White's post-game comments that truly exposed what's been happening.
What is your description of kind of the physical battle that Caitlin particularly faces, maybe within tonight's game or just in general as you've gotten used to coaching, or just what you see she's enduring physically?
Are you trying to get me fined again?
Stephanie White entered the post-game interview visibly frustrated and ready to speak out. When asked about Clark's injury, she kept it brief but pointed. No update, just felt a little something in her groin. So we'll get it evaluated and see what happens.
I mean, there's a level of physicality that they're able to play with against her. I knew it as an opponent, and I see it as her coach. And I'm not exactly sure why, but it just is what it is. And we've got to help her learn to adjust and use it against them in certain ways. We've got to find some ways to make it a little bit easier for her. But the level of physicality overall in our league has been at a different level than it's been for a long time.
White's harsh comments about the refs pointed to a deeper issue than just bad calls. She didn't hold back, saying, "I knew it as an opponent, and I see it as her coach." Having seen both sides, her words carried weight. She added, "I'm not exactly sure why, but it is what it is," revealing frustration and helplessness. White also warned that league-wide physicality has escalated, and now star players are paying the price.
There has been rumblings that basically, Kelsey Plum wanted to get the hell away from them, meaning Becky Hammond and A'ja Wilson. And I'm here to tell you guys, it is looking like that way, because none other than Kelsey Plum actually fired shots at the Las Vegas Aces in her opening press conference interview.
Could this be the end of the Las Vegas Aces dynasty, with 5-star players heading for the exit and controversy in the air? It definitely seems like it, but trust me, there's a lot more to this saga than you might think.
Now, we know throughout the offseason there has been a lot of chatter behind the scenes in regards to the Las Vegas Aces. The Las Vegas Aces team was completely derailed at the conclusion of the season, which leaving a lot of people to speculate what the hell is going on in Vegas.
Kelsey Plum has finally spoken out, and she's not holding anything back. In her first press conference with the LA Sparks, she didn't mince words about her old team. But this is just the beginning. Is A'ja Wilson really the one to blame for the mass exodus and the collapse? Did Coach Becky Hammond play a role? Or is there a larger conspiracy at work? Let's dive in and unpack it all.
Just a question for Kelsey. You came from a place in Las Vegas that really valued player health and player experience. I'm just curious what it was about LA that convinced you that the Sparks would also provide a high-quality player experience and amenities.
Imagine this. Kelsey Plum at the podium, LA Sparks jersey in hand. The tension in the air is palpable. Something doesn't feel right, and you can sense it. What's coming next?
I will say every step of the way, they have not just met but exceeded my expectations. And I've been treated better than I've ever been as a WNBA player. And I think that, at times, people have their own experiences, but I can speak for myself, and this has been first class.
At first, it's all smiles and gratitude, the typical press conference routine. But then, out of nowhere, Plum drops a bombshell that rocks the WNBA. I've been treated better than I ever have as a WNBA player. Hold up, what? Did she just take a dig at the Aces?
I know that this franchise is extremely, extremely valuing the opportunity to be able to support players in any way that they can. And I've seen that firsthand. And, obviously as the franchise, we continue to build on this year. And, there's been a lot of change in the last couple of years with, coach and management and things like that. I'm excited to be part of the new wave, and, we'll be able to show players that this is a place where LA, you want to play.
Let's dive into this. Plum's been with the Aces for years. She's got championships under her belt with them. And in her last season, she averaged 17.8 points, 4.2 assists, and 2.6 rebounds per game. She was drafted by them. It's the only team she's ever known. Everything seemed fine. So why is she suddenly suggesting she wasn't treated well? What's really going on in Las Vegas? We'll break it all down shortly.
I've been treated better than I ever have been as a WNBA player. Now, that is the comment there that is raising eyebrows amongst fans in regards to Kelsey Plum, stating that she's been treated better so far than she has ever been as a WNBA player.
Here's where things get really interesting. Plum's comments aren't just about her experience in LA. They offer a glimpse into what's been happening behind the scenes in the Aces locker room. Remember when the Aces were untouchable, sitting at the top? Turns out, that picture-perfect image might have been nothing more than a mirage.
For someone like me, it's just a perfect mix of preparation and opportunity. I've been chomping at the bit to get the opportunity to be able to lead and show, who I am as a player on a different scale. And so I'm just really excited about that. And I've never been more ready. And, I think some people might be surprised, but no one that really knows will be.
But Plum's not finished yet. She goes on about the excitement for her new role, the chance to make a bigger impact. Is she hinting that she couldn't do that with the Aces?
She said it's always been leading by example, a level of consistency as a pro these days. We get caught up in how we feel. It doesn't matter how you feel as a leader. You got to show up and lead. There's a level of competitiveness that has to be consistent every day. It's a culture. Other than that, just having fun. We all play better and enjoy ourselves when we're doing what we love to do. She's definitely sending subliminals back to Vegas, bro.
The reactions on social media have been absolutely crazy. Some fans are calling out Aces management, while others are hyped for Plum's fresh start with the Sparks. One fan even said Kelsey can finally focus on her own game without constantly bringing up how someone won unanimous MVP. Ouch. Talk about a direct shot at A'ja Wilson.
I just feel like an overwhelming sense of love, I feel like open arms. I was actually in the airport this morning and I was just getting some water and the guy was like, "Go Sparks!" It's just, I feel that. So I'm excited about that because I really do feel like people have kind of already wrapped their arms around me. I haven't even played a game yet. Just the welcoming of my teammates and coach and Reagan and ownership, I feel very loved already.
Think about it. Plum's move to the Sparks isn't just about switching jerseys. It's a total career shift. She's looking to redefine her role, her influence. It's like she's breaking free from something. But what? Keep in mind, Plum's not just any player. She's an Olympic gold medalist, a WNBA champion. When someone of her caliber says she needs a bigger platform to showcase who she is, it's not just talk, it's a statement.
And I'm so grateful to be reunited with Dee, to play with people like Cam and Rakia, and I can continue to go on the list.
Here's the truth. Plum's words aren't just about her. they're turning the spotlight on the Aces organization. What's really happening behind those Vegas lights? Are players feeling overlooked? Confined? Plum's comments have set things in motion, and the implosion is already underway.
We're here to compete, so there's expectations to win right away. And I know for me, there is a level of intensity and work ethic that I do bring to the table, but really just I'm grateful for this opportunity to show that being one of the best players in the world and just taking this franchise back to where it's been and where it will continue to go. So again, I just want to thank ownership support, and really just means a lot that everyone's here, and it's a new day in LA, so we're gonna hoop.
Remember when the Aces were the team everyone dreamed of joining? When players were willing to take pay cuts just for a shot at that championship ring? Well, those days are behind us. The Aces empire is collapsing faster than a house of cards in a Vegas windstorm, and you won't believe who's next to jump ship.
So, for all Aces fans, it's over. It's over. It's over. The reign of the Aces is over. I understand the shortest dynasty in the history of the sport of basketball. You know, I've never heard of a dynasty that won 2 championships and then was done, because you're seeing all the ring-chasing free agents getting out of Vegas.
After their stunning semifinals loss, Coach Becky Hammond warned us that changes were on the horizon, but no one saw this coming. It's not just 1 or 2 players leaving, it's a full-on exodus. And now the Aces roster is looking like Swiss cheese.
We have to get better. We have to really take a sharp look at ourselves, look ourselves in the mirror, see our shortcomings, and then, you got to make the moves necessary, whatever that means, to put the best product that we possibly can. It's not going to be the same group probably next year. It just won't. And I'm sad about that, because I really like that group. They were a pain in my ass, but I was a pain in their ass too.
Let's kick things off with Kate Martin. Remember her? The fan favorite? The bright young star who had Aces fans buzzing about a promising future? Well, the Aces left her unprotected in the expansion draft, and the Golden State Valkyries scooped her up faster than you can say, rookie mistake. Martin's fired up about her new role, saying, "I'm really excited for this new beginning and to build something from the ground up here with the Valkyries." Ouch. Aces? That's gotta hurt.
I'm really excited. This league is all about opportunity, and, you just need one shot, right? And I am very thankful for the Aces and everything I got to learn there, but I'm really excited for this new beginning and to build something from the ground up here with the Valkyries.
But hold up, there's more. Sydney Colson, Wilson's bestie and the locker room spark plug, is packing her bags for Indiana. That's right, Colson's heading to the Fever, leaving Wilson without her ride or die on the court. It's like watching the Aces team chemistry vanish right before our eyes.
You mean to tell me that 2-time WNBA champion, the face of the God Dog League, okay? The Aces' main girl, right-hand man, Sydney Colson, is no longer returning to the Aces and is signing with the Indiana Fever? First of all, do the Fever even have any more roster spots open? How many folks are you guys going to sign?
And if you thought that was rough, buckle up. Tiffany Hayes, the reigning WNBA 6th Player of the Year, is also bidding farewell to Sin City. She's joining Kate Martin on the Valkyries, taking her 9.5 points, 2.8 rebounds, and 2.1 assists per game with her. That's a huge blow to the Aces bench depth, folks.
Then, of course, there is Tiffany Hayes, who, guys, Tiffany Hayes was not even supposed to be in the WNBA last season. She had actually retired in the offseason of 2024.
But hold up, we're not done yet. Alicia Clark, fresh off a championship with the Aces, is heading back to her old stomping grounds in Seattle. She's pumped about the move, saying, "I would love to go back to my WNBA home, which is Seattle." And just like that, another one bites the dust for the Aces.
Let's start with Alicia Clark. According to Ramona Shelburne of ESPN, the Aces wanted to bring back Alicia Clark. But when Seattle came a-knocking, Alicia was like, you know what? I would love to go back to my WNBA home, which is Seattle. Now, guys, if y'all don't know, Alicia Clark won 2 titles with the Seattle Storm in 2018 and 2020. And now at 37 years old, she is looking to bring her 3-and-D game back to Seattle.
So what's behind all these players heading for the exit? Is it the allure of fresh opportunities? Or is something off in Las Vegas? Here's where it gets juicy. The Aces salary cap is tighter than a Vegas poker player's grip on their chips. After locking down Jewel Lloyd and her supermax salary, the Aces are scrambling to round out their roster with minimum contracts. It's like watching a high-stakes game of musical chairs, and the Aces are running out of time.
I don't want to be great for you guys, no offense, but I want to be great for my team. I want to be great for this franchise. It is hard as shit. It is hard as shit because there's tons of people that want to break you down. Great teams in this league that are going to try to come after you every single night. But when it comes to taking accountability, I have no problem in that because I want to be great. I want to be great for my teammates. So yes, it can start in practice. Yes, it starts in training camp. Yes, it starts in the wins and the losses. But I'm not going to stop. I'm going to continue to challenge myself and my teammates every single day. Because when you're talking about greatness, it starts with consistency.
Let's dive into what's really going on behind the scenes with the Aces. Thought the player exodus was bad? Buckle up, because the front office drama makes their on-court struggles look like child's play. Remember when the Aces front office was the envy of the league? Those days are long gone. Now, it's more like a ghost town. And at the heart of this mess is general manager Natalie Williams. Or should I say, former general manager? That's right. Williams was let go after a vague restructuring. But here's the kicker. Months later, the Aces still haven't named a new GM. Talk about leaving your organization in limbo.
But also, there is a huge thing that you all have to keep in mind is that the Las Vegas Aces do not have a GM right now. They let go of their GM a couple months ago, and they have not put anyone in that place. And so, hey, Nikki Fargas and Becky Hammond are trying to make some wonders without an actual GM.
But hold on, there's more. Rumors are flying that head coach Becky Hammond is making a power play. She's eyeing a dual role as both head coach and GM. Sound familiar? It's the same setup as her former boss, Greg Popovich. But let's be real. Is consolidating that much power smart when your house is already burning? And speaking of Hammond, don't forget that suspension for violating the league's respect in the workplace policy. Not exactly great for the Aces' image, but that's just the start.
What is going on in their locker room? Like, this Aces team is falling apart. This is not a coach that I would want to play for.
And let's not forget about the De'Erica Hamby lawsuit. The former Aces player is claiming discrimination and unfair treatment during her pregnancy. And this isn't just some petty accusation. The league took it seriously enough to hit the Aces with a $500,000 fine and strip them of their 2025 first-round draft pick. Ouch.
Top of that, the league is investigating the Aces for potential salary cap circumvention. Back in May, the Las Vegas Convention Authority gave each of the players an additional $100,000 to basically be active in the community.
Now, the league's digging into the Aces for possible salary cap circumvention. They're investigating undisclosed benefits given to players. Basically, the Aces are accused of sliding extra perks under the table. Not exactly the kind of attention you want when you're trying to build a dynasty, right? With all this drama, is it any surprise players are bolting? The Aces have gone from the team everyone wanted to join to the team everyone's scrambling to leave.
Breaking news came down, so we have to discuss it. This is what we do here. We're talking about the Indiana Fever making yet another move, Alicia, because they're Thanos right now and they're collecting all the Infinity Stones.
While the Aces are stuck in roster chaos, the Indiana Fever are making waves. Once the league's punching bag, they've turned into the talk of the town, assembling a powerhouse team around their superstar, Caitlin Clark. With stars like Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Hull, and veteran additions like Natasha Howard and DeWanna Bonner, the Fever are on the rise. What's more impressive? These players chose the Fever. In one off-season, they've gone from bottom dwellers to contenders, and it's a slap in the face to those who doubted them. While the Aces are drowning in drama, the Fever are showing how it's done.
Actually, a workout video with Brianna Turner and Caitlin Clark. Now, this is the first video where we've seen two players working out together from this team, so I want to live react to it with you guys. So obviously, Coach KP is there. I feel like he never leaves the gym. You have Caitlin coming across the screen for a three. It looks like with all of these, they're working on a screen and roll with Brianna.
Just when it seemed like the WNBA drama had settled down, chaos returned with a vengeance. And who's at the center of it all? You guessed it, Angel Reese. Her former teammate, Brianna Turner, was recently seen working alongside none other than Caitlin Clark in Indiana. And let's just say, Angel isn't exactly cheering from the sidelines. The internet went wild, and honestly, this storyline has it all. Petty feuds, unresolved grudges, and enough jealousy to fuel a reality TV show for seasons. Brianna Turner has officially separated herself from the drama and ego surrounding Angel Reese, and she's doing it with finesse by teaming up with Caitlin Clark. Let's be honest, it's like leaving a chaotic house party and stepping into a peaceful luxury spa. The difference in energy is clear. Suddenly, Turner is thriving. Who would have thought? Choosing professionalism and skill over the noise and distractions seems to be the winning move.
So, lads, it's looking like the Indiana Fever have signed a perfect player to have beside Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, DeWanna Bonner, Natasha Howard, Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hull. Who else? Sydney Colson's still on this team, Damaris Dantas, and whoever they draft in the second round.
Now, picture Angel Reese, likely scrolling through Instagram, jaw tight with frustration, as she watches her former teammate cozy up with the very player she's been throwing passive-aggressive jabs at since their college days. If jealousy were a sport, Reese would be in the running for gold. She always saw herself as the main character, the face of the league. Yet here's Turner, choosing Caitlin Clark over the Bayou Barbie swagger.
And of course you have Caitlin. She had such a phenomenal rookie season, so many great accolades. And I think the jumping from season 1 to season 2, players can also make a really big jump. So I'm excited to see her growth from year 1 and year 2. And she hasn't reached her ceiling yet either, so I'm really excited to watch her growth as well.
Let's be real. Reese probably thought Brianna would stay loyal, supporting her drama, lingering in her shadow, and feeding into her narrative. But instead, Turner hopped on the first train to Indiana, where the vibe is positive, the chemistry is strong, and the focus is purely on basketball, not side eyes and social media beefs. It's almost like some people actually care about winning, not just trending. Watching Caitlin and Brianna hit the gym together wasn't just heartwarming, it was telling. It highlighted who's focused on the game and who's focused on the drama. Their workout was smooth, intense, and team-oriented. You could feel the chemistry. Meanwhile, Angel's recent performances have felt more like a monologue no one asked for, filled with dramatic pauses, exaggerated reactions, and very little substance.
Angel Reese, 3-on-3. Let's get it! Hey, we back like we never left. Angel Reese in the post. Gonna work number 5. Shake and bake. Earthquake. Bang! Hey, Angel, you had all off season to get in the lab, fix your lamps, but what did you do? More podcasting. Layup.
And let's not overlook the blow to Angel Reese's public image. The player who once proclaimed herself the face of women's basketball is now left on the sidelines, watching as her teammates join forces with the true game changer. Caitlin Clark is out there building connections, forging alliances, and elevating her team. And now, Turner's right there with her. Meanwhile, Reese is stuck with the same tired antics and a shrinking circle of support. You just know Reese saw that footage of Turner and Clark and immediately went into damage control mode, probably typing a cryptic tweet like, "Loyalty hits different," or preparing a carefully curated photo dump with dramatic lighting to stir up attention. But let's be real, we all saw what went down, and so did the rest of the league.
How are you feeling about being in Indiana and joining the team?
I'm really excited. I followed a lot of these players throughout their college careers and professional careers, so it's kind of like full circle moment to be on the same team with a lot of these players again.
Tell me what it was like that, what went into your decision to come here and join what's being built here at the Fever?
I think that the front office and the staff just really had a vision in place, and I felt that I could really complement their vision.
Reese's ego might be hurt, but Brianna Turner's career just got a fresh boost, and all it took was stepping away from the drama and linking up with someone focused on elevating the game. That move says a lot. Angel may still have her supporters, but she's learning the hard way that clout fades, while teamwork endures.
Mashed potatoes! Brr! Thought we were gonna leave the hop skippity doo 3000 in 2024. Jumping off one foot, landing on that same foot. Then we're stat padding. Still, I thought we were past this, Angel. Brr! Rebounder in WNBA history. Look at this. Elite rebound. Look at that vertical. Look at the outlet pass. No, Angel. No! Why, Angel? Why? Not the kick out three. Butter pecan. Burn! If you throw it out of bounds, you hate puppies. What? She a playmaker. She's a point queen. Point queen. She making plays for the other team. Bang! Caitlin Clark's not the only one that can make cool passes. I can do it. Me too.
Maybe, just maybe, Angel Reese should try something revolutionary for once. It's called humility. Shocking, right? Imagine prioritizing your team instead of turning every game into a personal highlight reel. Picture Reese sharing the spotlight rather than hoarding it like her legacy depends on it, and playing the game as a teammate, not a solo act with a chip on her shoulder. But of course, that would require a complete rebrand from her current role as the queen of ego and unnecessary theatrics. So, while Reese continues rehearsing her next emotional press conference or planning her next media stunt, let's raise a glass to Brianna Turner and Caitlin Clark, two players who truly understand the value of teamwork.
Talk about you on the court. Like, what sort of attributes do you think you're going to bring, and where will you, add to the Fever from last year to this year?
Yeah, I think I'm really just like a calming presence. I feel like I never get too high or get too low. People are like, why don't you smile more? Why don't you get excited? I'm like, I'm just chilling. I'm vibing. Like, I feel like I'm really an observer. But I am really competitive as well. I like to run the floor, like to play defense, like to win. And I think the Fever was a place to be if I wanted to win.
Just when we thought the WNBA offseason had given us all the drama it could muster, Brianna Turner swooped in with the ultimate plot twist. Remember when, not too long ago, Turner was throwing those subtle jabs at Caitlin Clark online? Oh, we all remember. The tension was palpable. But now, fast forward to today, and you'd swear they've been best friends for life. The way they're smiling in training photos, seamlessly vibing together on the court, it's as if they've been a dynamic duo from the start. It's giving frenemies to finals energy, and the internet? Well, they're absolutely eating it up. Meanwhile, poor Angel Reese is left standing awkwardly in the background, like the third wheel nobody invited to the party. It's a sad sight, really. Her presence barely felt while everyone else moves forward, building alliances, making plays, and embracing the future. Talk about being left behind. The tables have turned, and it's playing out in front of us, drama and all.
Christine Brennan just exposed the WNBA in a major way.
Christine Brennan is one of the best sports writers in the country, has been for a long time.
Caitlin Clark is way more important to the WNBA than Tiger Woods was to men's golf, even though he was huge. And to then see this negativity, like why? And what should have been done? I looked seriously at the leadership of the WNBA. And how could you not be prepared for this moment? You've seen it happening in the Big Ten. You've seen it at Iowa. You see these TV ratings.
Legendary USA Today journalist Christine Brennan decided she'd had enough of the nonsense and dropped a truth bomb so massive it practically flattened league headquarters. We're talking about receipts, pettiness, and a complete gutting of the WNBA's credibility when it comes to how they've mishandled Caitlin Clark. It's a brutal look that should have everyone from the commissioner's office to jealous vets shaking in their squeaky shoes. And seriously, what do you think? Is this epic faceplant by the WNBA all about jealousy over Caitlin Clark? Or is it straight up clown-level incompetence?
It came out, what she had to say in this book was going to shake the ground of the WNBA. She's been around for a very long time, and she knows the inner and outer workings of this league. Christine Brennan let it be known in multiple interviews that the WNBA was not ready for a superstar like Caitlin Clark.
Christine Brennan, who's covered more women's hoops than most WNBA players have been alive, just dropped a book, and it's no feel-good girl power puff piece. Nope. She unleashed full-on investigative fury, ripping into how the league fumbled the generational Caitlin Clark moment. This wasn't a hot take, it was a journalistic flamethrower. And the shockwaves are still shaking the WNBA to its core.
The thing I don't get, Christine, is that in the case of Tiger and in the case of Jordan, the other players and the league around them, in Tiger's case, the PGA Tour, realized that a rising tide raises all boats and were incredibly supportive of Tiger and Jordan.
Brennan didn't show up to hand out participation trophies. She ripped the curtain clean off, exposing just how clueless, jealous, and downright lazy the WNBA brass were when the biggest star women's basketball has ever seen landed right in their lap.
With Caitlin, it seems like, for whatever reason, she's polarizing. Like, she's been hit with more flagrant fouls than any player ever this year. They tried to come at you when you were writing a story and said, don't ask questions about why people don't like Caitlin Clark. But I'm going to ask you, Christine, why is she polarizing in your opinion? Why do people not embrace the phenomenon that is Caitlin Clark?
Caitlin Clark isn't just another prospect. She's the game changer who yanked the WNBA from the shadows into the spotlight. And instead of celebrating, the league was chugging acids, miserable over their own unexpected relevance.
One of the big points in the book, I deal with all of this and my research and reporting, because I was perplexed as well. I mean, this is the greatest moment ever for the WNBA.
Yep.
We wish it happened sooner. Of course we wish it happened sooner. There were amazing players who, as you know, Ramona, I mean, both you guys know, were toiling in obscurity. The male-dominated mainstream sports media ignoring them.
Here's one of the jaw-dropping nuggets from Brennan's expose. The day after Caitlin officially declared for the 2024 draft, she called up a senior league official to get their reaction. You'd expect fireworks, right? Hype, confetti, the works. Nope. This league exec, stone-faced, told her that Clark's arrival was the biggest thing since Maya Moore. Maya Moore. No shade to a legend, but outside of hardcore hoop fans, Maya was practically invisible to mainstream America. Most folks wouldn't recognize her in a checkout line.
From home like everybody else. And I think, guys, that actually helped me understand as a journalist the fascination, because I've covered a lot over my career and been very fortunate to be at Wimbledon's and Super Bowls and Tiger Woods and you name it, I've covered it. And I'm so lucky to have done that. And I found myself fascinated, who is this? And I'm getting text messages from guys who would never have watched a second of women's basketball. Good guys.
And this is where Brennan's decades of experience shine. She immediately grasped what these clowns couldn't. Caitlin Clark wasn't just another great player. She was a cultural avalanche, ready to wipe out every tired narrative about the WNBA being a niche sport. While league execs were busy making weak comparisons to stars who barely nudged the ratings, Brennan saw it crystal clear. The entire country was about to tune in for the Caitlin Clark show. And how did the league respond to this golden warning? They sat on their hands and did absolutely nothing. It's almost impressive how incompetent you have to be to blow the easiest marketing layup in sports history.
They want their daughters to play sports. I mean, good people, but just And they're texting, are you there? I'm watching. Are you seeing this performance? And that told me something that I actually was very helpful to be at home watching it versus being on press row talking to a bunch of other journalists, that okay, there's something going on in the country here. And it's everyone's fascinated and people are standing in line for hours in the cold around the Big Ten, this barnstorming tour. And it's all about a basketball player who happens to be a woman.
But it only gets more jaw-dropping. Brennan's book spells it out. The WNBA suits didn't just fail to prepare for the Caitlin Clark effect. They couldn't even picture it. They were so used to being the ignored corner of pro sports so addicted to irrelevance that they literally couldn't imagine a world where people actually cared. It's like running a bakery and being stunned when people come in wanting bread. That's the level of pathetic Brennan exposed.
Unauthorized, which is not ominous at all. You want it to be unauthorized because I can tell the truth, unvarnished. Caitlin's quoted throughout the book. She was great answering any question I asked her. But dealing with these important issues. So you've got a 74% black league. We understand this. I mean, I'm white. You know, Ramona, I think you guys are white.
Yeah.
We have no idea what it's like to be black in America.
And it's not like nobody saw this coming. Brennan's reporting makes it painfully clear. Journalists, analysts, even YouTube creators had been tracking Clark since her Iowa days, waving neon signs that she was the real deal. Her fan base was enormous, dialed in, and ready to pack arenas the moment she went pro. But the WNBA front office? They couldn't even be bothered to glance up from their spreadsheets.
And I say that. Let's be brutally honest here. Here comes a white woman from Iowa, and she's going to be the biggest superstar. Now, absolutely, the spotlight shining on her. Finally, it's shining on all these other players who deserved it for years but never got it. And that's a wonderful turn of events. But instead of focusing on the positives, sadly, the WNBA players, so many of them, not all.
Meanwhile, the numbers say it all. In 2023, the Fever's attendance sat around 4,000 per game, basically the size of a sleepy Texas high school gym. Then, Caitlin Clark shows up for a preseason warm-up, and suddenly, fans are lining up outside 2 hours early like it's a Taylor Swift concert. Building security was stunned. They'd never seen anything like it.
And an antagonist. And I've argued that the NBA could use a little bit more of hero and villain to popularize the sport again. The WNBA does not need that because for a lot of America, Caitlin Clark is the hero. And anyone that comes to Caitlin Clark's defense is a hero. And everyone that flagrantly fouls her, speaks poorly of her, acts like she's not great is the villain, and then vice versa on that. How big of a part of the story is that when you look at the conflict surrounding Caitlin Clark?
So how did the WNBA capitalize on this tidal wave of new fans? Did they roll out the red carpet for their generational cash cow? Launch dazzling media blitzes? Of course not. They reacted like grumpy old neighbors, visibly irritated that all these new eyeballs were finally tuning in. It's as if they liked being the little pond and couldn't handle suddenly becoming the ocean. Absolutely unreal.
Well, it looks like Angel Reese. Well, it looks like she's just been caught in what could certainly be taken as in a lie. All right, all these things that she says she has dealt with over the last year, all these encounters of racism.
Picture this. Angel Reese sits down for another grim post-game Q&A after getting thumped by the New York Liberty. Cameras flash, reporters hover, then bam. She drops a comment her PR team probably wanted to intercept mid-air, tearing right through the polished narrative we've been fed about Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever fandom.
Angel Reese, the most coddled, babied professional athlete in all of sports, continues to be the most babied and coddled professional athlete in all of sports, continues to have her peers say, "You go, girl. You be unapologetically yourself. Don't worry how rude, how arrogant, and how disrespectful you are. Don't worry about all the lies that you perpetrate. Don't worry about that."
The WNBA wrapped up its investigation and, surprise, found zero proof of any racist comments at the Fever game. Case closed, right? Not so fast. Because what Angel Reese just blurted out on live TV might be the actual plot twist here. The real mystery? What exactly did she spill when she thought the mic wasn't catching her tea?
Remember the guy that I guess was out there waiting for him supposedly, and when the team was coming out, and of course we saw footage of that, and there was nothing malicious to it whatsoever that anybody could see. And then of course the Indiana Fever fans were yelling racist things or making racist noises out around the court. WNBA did an investigation, found nothing.
The WNBA spent weeks investigating claims of racist comments at the Fever versus Sky game, but their conclusion shocked no one, except maybe Angel Reese and her most loyal fans. When the league launched the investigation, they went full CSI, courtside. Fans near the alleged drama were interviewed, staff from both teams grilled, and arena workers questioned like it was a crime thriller. They even combed through security footage frame by frame, angle by angle.
It is embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. It is absolutely embarrassing. And the fact is that originally it's, oh yeah, we're looking towards everything. Then they had to double down. They actually redacted this statement. They redacted a statement. They redacted the statement saying we're looking at everything, saying, no, we're actually not looking at most of the stuff. We're looking at a lie spread on social media that went viral. We are looking into a literal lie spread on social media that got spoken into fact. We're looking at a lie.
So after all that digging, what did the WNBA find? Drumroll, nothing. No evidence of racist behavior from Fever fans. Investigators combed video, scoured audio, talked to eyewitnesses, and came up empty. But here's the twist. Sky coach Tyler Marsh revealed his team didn't even hear about the alleged incidents until they saw it blowing up on social media after the game. Let that sink in. The head coach had no clue until Twitter told him.
Yeah, I think we agree. I think we're in compliance with them, with the league, and obviously there's no room or space in our game for hate. So we're complying with everything that's going on.
Coach, when did you become aware that there was hate speech that happened?
I think when everyone else did. I think that it's something that we heard about, and so again, we're just forthcoming with anything that the league is able to do investigation-wise.
And get this, not a single player from either team heard a thing during the game. No coaches flagged it, and refs didn't report any crowd-related issues. The controversy? Sparked entirely by social media posts, with about as much evidence as a UFO sighting in a potato field. No video, no audio, just dramatic claims that it happened. Meanwhile, the Chicago Sky looked blindsided. Their players showed no distress during the game, no meltdowns, no sideline complaints. Then, hours later, boom, Twitter and Instagram lit up with claims that somehow escaped everyone actually at the game.
I didn't think these things would be a topic this year. It's certainly not at this point, but here we go again.
Because now Indiana Fever players, are getting called into question. Indiana Fever fans are getting called into question today. We got one post on here where somebody's literally calling, they're talking about there should be a boycott. That's what it really is, of the All-Star game over player safety.
Here's the play-by-play. Someone claimed on social media they heard racist comments at the game. A few clicks later, it spread like wildfire. No fact-checking, no receipts, just vibes. Suddenly, major sports outlets were breathlessly covering alleged incidents that, spoiler alert, apparently never happened. No one in the arena heard a thing, security footage showed nothing, and players and coaches were totally unaware until social media chimed in with, "Hey, be outraged now." The WNBA's official statement said the reports were not substantiated, which is polite speak for, yeah, this didn't happen. But what the league did find? That was just the opening act for the drama still to come.
The league is also taking a big L because there's no apologies to any fans whatsoever on this totally BS statement released by the WNBA. Yeah, you found nothing. That's great. That's accurate. Guess who told you would find nothing? The entire Indiana Fever fan base said you weren't going to find anything. But this league that has never turned a profit decided to accuse their own fans.
During what seemed like a routine media appearance, Angel Reese casually tossed a grenade into the narrative we'd been hearing. She looked relaxed, maybe too relaxed, like she was chatting with friends, not facing a room full of reporters. But then, the vibe shifted. A question about the recent heat she's faced made her sit up. Her tone changed, the polish faded, and out came a raw, unfiltered response. One that didn't exactly line up with her earlier claims about being targeted by Fever fans.
3-time BET Sports Woman of the Year, Angel Reese, says she doesn't pay attention to what folks say about her online because no one has ever said a negative word about her in person. Uh-oh. So what have you been talking about for the last 17 or 18 months? Uh-oh. I hope she realizes she just admitted this and did so on camera with audio. Yeah, nobody's ever going to let her let this down now.
What came out of her mouth next? A plot twist that torched weeks of narrative building like a rom-com blowing up in Act 3. Reese basically hinted the whole thing, yep, that thing, never actually happened. She even dropped a casual, "I've never had a bad interaction with a fan," like she was reading from the opposite day script. Then she pivoted to the dangers of internet drama, saying how things get twisted and people jump to conclusions without a parachute of facts. The way she said it, it sure sounded like a quiet admission that the controversy wasn't nearly as serious as everyone thought.
Yeah, obviously don't worry about what's going on online. I get so much love in person. I haven't ever had a negative encounter in person ever. And I've been going through this for 3 years. I've never had an encounter in person that was negative. So people online are behind a keyboard for a reason. And I don't worry about that stuff. I trust my work. My teammates trust me. And I was telling Milla today, like, she felt like she was having a rough day. And I was like, how many times have I had a rough day? And you picked me up. So don't get down on yourself. I know my teammates have my back, my coaches have my back, and that's all that really matters. I don't have to prove anything to anybody but myself and my teammates.
This confession drop-kicked everything we'd been spoon-fed for weeks. The saga had been that Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky were trapped in a thunderdome of racism, tormented by Indiana Fever fans like it was a twisted, sports-themed Game of Thrones episode. Headlines screamed, "Protect the players," as if the WNBA needed to call in the Avengers. Reese was cast as the damsel in distress, needing rescue by the league and a squad of ride-or-die teammates. But now, reporters glanced around like characters in a heist movie, realizing they were double-crossed. You could feel them thinking, wait, did we just witness history or the plot twist of the decade?